Hello, welcome to SDRs on Mars. This is episode 12, and I'm here with Bhargav Pancholi. And we're going to learn about being a little bit of a sales rep from Bhargav today. So, Bhargav, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, everybody. First of all, thank you, Jeremy, for the invite and opportunity to talk with you. And so, my name is Bhargav Pancholi. I moved to Canada like a couple of years ago. Uh, in like as far as my education is concerned, I'm like an MBA in marketing, and then done a couple of courses in Canada as well. As far as my experience goes, I have like over a 1.5 year of experience in chemical industry in India, and then like almost a 2 years experience in retail sales in Canada, and now I have jumped into the tech sales arena. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Cool. Okay, so to expand a little more on that, where are you? Which organization are you working with right now?
So I'm working with an organization called KochaSoft. It's based in Toronto.
Okay, cool. And are you working out of Toronto right now as well?
No, I'm working from home right now. So I am right now in London, Ontario.
Right. Okay, cool. And what is your experience up until this point been with working remotely in these kind of scenarios?
I would say it's pretty much okay with me working from home. I'm glad I don't have to travel or commute too much. And on the flip side, you have to make your schedule like very tight, and you have to follow your schedule accordingly. Otherwise, when you are working from home, there are like so many distractions that you can distract from. So yeah, it's a steep learning curve for me to work from home, but yeah, I'm adjusting. I'm liking it so far.
Yeah, it's definitely a learning curve. And as much as I can schedule my day tightly, I don't put in scheduled breaks for like my dog to go outside, for example. So like, there's always pieces that you
Yeah,
can't predict.
yeah. Like same with me. I'm a big coffee drinker, so whenever I feel like I have to have a coffee, I have to take the break. So I don't have like a scheduled breaks for the day.
Right. Okay. Um, so I'll actually come back to that in a minute, but first I want to touch more on. So you said it was KochaSoft that you're working for right now,
Yes, that's correct.
and so what does KochaSoft do?
So it's a bit of a long journey with KochaSoft. So the KochaSoft started as an IT training company. So they specialize in cloud training, especially Microsoft Azure and Google Cloud. Uh, and then recently they have developed a learning management system uh, at the Canada division. So right now, the team that I'm working with is looking after the learning and management system.
Cool. Okay. And so what is your role with KochaSoft?
So basically, you can say it's an sales development representative, but the title that I have been given is learning and development consultant. So the reason behind this title is the platform is not like a ready-made platform that we can sell to anyone. It's more of a customized platform based on the customer's need. So my role in this company is to talk to customers, try to identify what are their needs, what kind of a solution they paint for me. Accordingly, I have to also, so that is a learning part, so that is a co-creation part attached to this role. So I learn from what their needs are, what are their pain points, and what kind of a ideal solution they are looking for. At the same time, the development side is I talk with my product development team a lot. So based on what I receive feedback from customer, I have to make explain my product development team that this is what they are looking for and how we can approach the solution for this needs. So it's basically a learning and the development side both together. So it's mixed of both worlds, I would say, sales as well as the product development.
Cool. Okay, so you're kind of getting a full experience. How large is the company if you're doing a couple different things like that?
uh, in terms of headcount,
Yeah.
I think if I consider like all the people like both the division, it will be more than 70, 80 people.
Okay, perfect. Cool. So the other thing I was curious about was like right before this call, or actually through my experience getting to know you a little bit, I've also known that you had a sales background in sort of maybe some other industries. What made you want to get into tech sales?
Yeah, that's a really interesting question, and I have been asked this question a lot of times. So I would say, like, I worked in a chemical industry for a while as a sales representative over there, where I was looking after sales of specialty chemicals, some commodity chemicals. Uh, what I found the chemical industry, uh, not to offend anyone, but it's more of a traditional industry. The sales processes are like more traditional in nature, and it's more of a transactional sales rather than a relationships sales. Where what I found interesting in tech sales is the human element attached to it. So it's not about like selling your platform or selling your software or selling your solutions. It's more about learning about the prospect, the customer, what are their needs, how it is affecting their daily work, their personal lives. So there is like a human element, a relationship element over there, which makes a tech sales a bit different from other industries that I find. Uh, and yeah, I think making someone's life better with the help of my solution, uh, enhance my like work life balance. So this is what I love to do. I like to connect with people, talk to people, building a relationship with them. So uh, that motivated me to move towards the tech sales. So prior to deciding upon like let me go to this industry, I talked with a lot of people in the industry, in tech industry, while I was trying to explore different career paths. So while talking to people in the tech industry, I found it's more relatable to me. So then I decided to make the switch to like tech industry.
Okay, cool. And so you just mentioned something that I found kind of interesting. How previously you found this other industry very transactional. Can you sort of elaborate on maybe how your discovery process is a little different in terms of that versus what you're doing now?
Yeah, sure. So if I tell you about the chemical industry, the discovery process is basically reaching out to people in the chemical industry and try to understand what they are manufacturing in terms of what kind of a chemicals they are manufacturing. And the second question that we used to ask was like what kind of a raw materials they are using, like a raw material chemicals they are using. And if I have those chemicals, I can present to them, and like we have these chemicals available with us. And then that point onwards, it was more in terms of what your pricing is compared to the competitors, and less of a relationship or a value bringing, because chemicals from all the different manufacturers are gonna be the same quality. Everybody is claiming that we have this specification, and we have a ISO manufacturing facility and everything. So there is not a lot of a differentiating factor over there. So the major differentiating factor was the price. So that's why it was like a very price competitive market. But when I compare it with like that discovery process to right now, it's more about understanding. Like I reach out to prospects, talk to them regarding what are their learning and development initiatives going on at their company. uh, Besides that, we not only ask about like what kind of a platform they are using. Definitely that's one question that we ask. But what we ask is what are the frustrating part in the development and learning processes right now. Because no matter how good the learning management system is, until and unless your employees, your trainees are not going to be happy with the platform or with the content, uh, all efforts are gonna go in vain. So understanding what are their frustration part in terms of whether it is a content, whether it is a platform, whether it is like ease of access, uh, is the learning paths are curated for them, or they are being uh, leave on their own to explore whatever the content is available on LMS software. Besides that, I also ask the L&D leaders in terms of uh, how much time they spend behind assigning the courses or assigning the content to certain employees, because as a L&D leader your time is valuable in making content and not in the clerical work of assigning content to certain employees or something like that. So understanding their personal pain points is a big thing over here. And I asked them regarding what will be the like, ideal solution for them. If they can paint a picture for me, like what will be the ideal solution for learning and development initiatives for them, then it gives me an idea about like how I can provide my solution. As I mentioned, my product is not like a fixed product or platform. It's a canvas. So whatever the picture that the prospect paints for me, I communicate the same to my product development team, and they come up with ideas and to how to solve their needs.
Okay, perfect. So it's more of a customized solution based on. Okay, I
Yeah.
understand. Interesting. Cool. So while you're having these kind of conversations, I'm really curious because it seems like a really customizable thing. What are some of the objections that you might run into when you're advertising this service?
First and foremost, the objection is we already have a solution in place. uh, it's 2021. Every big companies that I'm reaching out, they already have a learning management solution in place. So whenever I'm reaching out, like I have a LMS platform which is highly customizable and everything. So the first thing that I am hearing is we already have a solution in place. So
Right.
that is the biggest objection that I have heard so far. But to respond to that, I do have a couple of good questions that I ask to them. Like, yeah, definitely, that's a great start. Like, you already have a solution in place. That means the learning and development is priority for you. But is this solution is something like uh, is to get the work done, or are you just married to it? So that's a really great question to ask. Like, because everybody's having a solution in place, but was it just there to get the work done, to facilitate the learning and development initiative, or they are like really married to it that they don't want us to switch? And mostly the answer is no, it's not like that, but we are pretty much logged in with this vendor or something like that. So that's another objection that we get. But that's about it. I think the biggest objection that comes in the way is like we already have LMS in place.
Right. That makes sense. Okay. So you have experience doing some tech sales. You came out of chemical sales, but why do you keep coming back to sales? Like, why did you start to like sales?
Oh, the I would say uh, it's the personality of mine. Uh, I tried different things. Like my education is in engineering. I tried engineering jobs as well. But at the end of the day, what I feel is if I have to do something repetitively, and if my day becomes monotonous, I don't feel like I'm not comfortable with the comfort zone. So that's why like I try different things, but at the end of the day, sales is something that is giving me this challenge every day. So every day is a new day, every call is a new call, every prospect is a new prospect, and the approach to each and everything is different every day. So you hear a lot of rejections every day, but you know what, just when you hear like a one yes in a day, that's a sense of achievement that you overcome something. So this feeling of like uh, achieving something every day motivates me to be in the sales, I would say.
Yeah, cool. I really like that piece, so I'm going to use it as a segue into sort of this other piece of this. How do you like start your day? How do you prepare for all the rejection and success, and get yourself on a place where you can take it all?
Yeah, so mostly my day starts off with like doing some morning routines and everything. I'm trying to get into fitness, and decide like planning to join some gym or something like that. But right now, just exercising in the morning at home, and then freshen up. And the next thing I do is make myself a nice cup of coffee, and that I bring with me and sit on my computer. And the first thing that we use, like usually I do, is I have like a morning meeting with my CEO where we discuss like what are our priorities for the day. And the first thing that we decide upon is the three priority tasks that we would like to achieve on that day. So every day we decide upon in the morning, like what are those three things that we would like to achieve in the day. So instead of focusing on 10 work at a time, we are focusing just on like first achieving this three work that we plan in the morning, and remaining, if we get more time, we can spend on other tasks as well.
Right. Okay. Cool. That makes sense. And I've heard you mention it a couple times now that you're a big coffee drinker. How many
Yeah.
how many like cups of coffee do you drink in a day? Like, what is a big coffee drinker?
I can't give you like exact number because it varies days to day, but I would say minimum four. Sometimes it goes all the way to 7 cups.
Wow, that's pretty strong.
Yeah, but like I make a sincere effort like to reduce the coffee intake in terms of so my morning coffee is always with the milk, uh, but later on during the day I might just get like a one espresso shot or something like that,
Okay,
or just a black coffee, like a half a glass of black coffee. But in the morning, yeah, definitely I need like a uh, two shots of espresso with the milk, and that's my morning routine.
that is gonna like launch you for sure in the morning. That makes sense. Okay, cool. So I also know that you were sort of considering some different opportunities in tech sales after finishing this boot camp in tech sales. So how did you decide, or what was part of that decision process for you in terms of like which company you want to work with?
Definitely. So I was approaching to many of the companies, especially the companies which are either in startup phase or in a scale up phase, because one thing that I like, I already have spent considerable amount of time in other industries, and I want a like a quick and a fast growth. And I thought like this kind of a growth I can get it in the startup or a scale up phase company. So first criteria was like to work, instead of working with big organizations, I wanted to grind a little bit. So to get like a quick success, quick growth. So that was one of the criteria. The second thing that I used to evaluate was the product, uh, because if until unless you don't believe in your product, you are not able to sell it. It's always going to sound like you are faking it. So the second thing was the product, and the third thing was I used to reach out to a lot of people in the same position. Let's say if I'm applying for SDRs, I'll approach an SDR in that particular company and try to understand what their culture looks like, what their sales processes looks like. Uh, so based on this research, I used to approach the companies. And when it comes to evaluating multiple offers, so when I selected this offer, I had like around three offers on my hand and I had to make a decision. So at that moment, I again went back to introspect on myself, like which job is gonna challenge me the most,
Okay,
uh, and which job is gonna provide me more exposure beyond sales.
right. Okay, that makes sense. So how long have you? Oh, I'm just opened up something weird on my computer. Just a second here. Okay, there we go. How long have you been in this role now?
Uh, Almost about 2 weeks now.
Okay.
Uh, but prior to that, I was also like for 1 week. I used to spend like a couple of hours to explore the product, to meet team members, especially the product development team, which is in Sri Lanka right now. So the whole product development team is in Sri Lanka. So I used to have like a small meetings with them, trying to understand the team members, what they are working on. Also, what the product is on our hand, and how coming up with different ideas of how to refine the product, how we can position the product in the market. So that was that was like my first week uh, prior to joining KochaSoft officially on the 1st September. But yeah, like my CEO doesn't ask me, so I directly report to my CEO in this role. So my CEO didn't force me or something like that, like you have to start working a week before. But he just asked me like, if you have time in your day, just go to this platform, try to explore what possibilities we can achieve with this platform and everything. So yeah, it was, I would say, officially 2 weeks in the role, where I am doing like hardcore outbound stuff, designing emails, designing cold call scripts or something like that, designing cadences. So that is my first 2 weeks looks like.
Cool. Awesome. Okay, well, that sounds like a pretty good start, and it sounds like you have your hands full for sure.
Yeah.
Um, so, with all this, stuff going on, your chance to work with some different teams and things. How do you make sure that you're taking some time at the end of the day to kind of remove yourself from work and recharge a little bit?
Yeah, sure. So like the thing is, like, I just moved my house, and the house that I am right now, it's a kind of a farmhouse. So it's a little bit away from the city and everything, not a lot of chaos and traffic or something like that. So usually in the evening, like, if I'm feeling, I'll have like a cup of coffee. I have like a nice sunroom. I'll go with my Kindle, so I'm like a big time reader as well, so I go with my Kindle, uh, read a couple of books. I'm also love to play music, but the musical instrument I was being trained in, I don't have it here in Canada. So I'm planning to get one. So most probably in a month or so, most probably, like, my relaxed time will be playing a new instrument or learning it.
Okay, so you're not necessarily going to get the same one, but you just want to get an instrument.
Yeah, any kind of a musical instrument is fine.
Okay, and what were you learning to play?
Sorry.
What were you learning to play before?
So it's an Indian classical instrument called tabla. It's more of a drum set.
Okay.
So I'm leaning to buy a new musical instrument in the same space. So I don't know if you have heard about it. It's called cajon, or in like literal term it called clap box. So it's a box which plays a sound of all the drum sets.
Interesting. I have not heard of this, but I am definitely going to check it
Yeah,
out now.
yeah.
Cool.
It's spelled as Kajon.
SKJON?
No, sorry, my bad. It's Cajon, Cajon.
Okay, okay, perfect.
And
Cool.
you have seen it in a lot of musical videos, but you just don't recognize that musical instrument. I'm sure once you search about it, you will find it interesting.
Okay, that is like my homework from this call now. I'm going to look at this. Cool. Awesome. Well, I mean, that's pretty much what I had scheduled for our little talk today. Um, what's next for you? Like, what do you think is the next steps in terms of even just working with this company right now?
So yeah, for like my short-term goal, if I have to say, is to get a lot of outbounds, to do a lot of grind, bringing in the new customers for the company. And what I can say is, I'm looking forward to jump into account executive role, where I also start closing the deals.
Hmm.
So uh, like, even in account executive role, I'll be doing like a whole sales cycle. But I wanted to get to that part of the sales cycle where I also start to close the deals. So that is something which is my short term goal. If I have to tell you like my long term goal, uh, so the one of the reason that I chose like learning management industry, because I am a big time learning and training person. So in the long term future, what I see myself is training people, either as a sales SDR, sales manager or something like that, or sales team leader. But to train people, what are my experiences are from my education, my experience in chemical industry, or for that matter in tech industry. whatever I have gained, I would like to pass it on to the new and upcoming SDRs as a long-term objective of mine.
Cool. Yeah, it's always interesting to see, what new people coming into the SDR role are interested in and what they can bring to the table. So yeah, I like that goal. That's awesome. Cool. Well, that's pretty much all I've got for today. Thank you so much for being a guest on the show today, Bhargav. Is there anything I can leave you with today, or is there anything you'd like to finish up with?
No, no, just I would like to just finally thank you for the opportunity. Like, the pleasure is entirely mine. I loved the chat, and yeah, we all already talked before. I joined KochaSoft, and at that time we didn't get that much time to get to know each other. But I think this is a great opportunity to know each other.
Perfect. Okay, well, thanks again. And I'm going to tag you in this post. So if any of you guys want to learn a little more about learning management systems or how KochaSoft can help you guys with this, I'm going to tag Bhargav in this, and you guys can reach out to him from there. Thanks,
For
Bhargav.
sure. Thanks.